when you come and you build everything exactly right, it's purpose-built, it's been designed for this product, for end-of-life care, for dementia, for assisted living care, you're gonna have a product that is more valuable than when you just take a house and convert the garage. Welcome back to Assisted Living Investing with me, Brett Chotkevys, and I'm gonna show you how I am building at less than 50% of future value on our memory care mansions. So this, for me, is my path to create long-term wealth. We are building, operating, creating amazing cash flow, but I am also packaging in a huge exit strategy for me. I'll show you in this episode how I am building with multiple millions of dollars worth of equity in every one of our assisted living mansions. So I'll break this down. There's 4 lessons that I learned that I want to share with you. But before we dive into these lessons, let me give you some context on some of these numbers. So we are building these 10,000 square feet, 16 bedroom, 17 bath, completely custom memory care mansions. They're purpose built for end-of-life assisted living. All right, we're building a neighborhood of these. So I have 8 acres and we're building 4 of these buildings. And don't think like commercial parking lot, red curb kind of like facility looking thing. Think of like custom home builder comes in and builds their own street with like these huge BA mansions. That's what we're going for here, right? Not facility, more like, whoa, this is some big old rich person little pocket neighborhood that happens to be built for end-of-life care. So that's what we're doing. And let me give you a little context on the numbers. So each of these mansions cost me in hard costs about $2.25 million. So that's the land, the actual building, and all of the utilities and roads and things that we're putting in. All right, so 2.25. The appraisal came back at over 5 million, about 5.2 million for just the building, right? No, we're not talking about the business yet. So I'm literally building with $3 million per mansion worth of equity, right? So I'm coming in knowing that I have a safe play, that my lender is safe, my partner is safe. I have a huge win and exit strategy on this deal, and that's before I add in the value of the business. So when the appraisal came back, it gave me 2 numbers, right? Here's my future value for once the building is done and built, right? 5.2 million. And then there's another stabilized value. It says once we have filled our beds, we got our license, we got our grandmas in there a year later, now it has another value, right? And they valued that at 6.2 million per building. So I'm adding an additional $1 million of value by combining the business and the real estate together, right? That's what I love about this kind of deal. You're not gonna be able to do that in any other kind of real estate play. You're combining an operations company with the business and literally forcing a value add play into this kind of deal. So this is how we are literally having almost $4 million per building of equity in these things. So this is why I love this, because I'm literally setting up a huge home run exit play for me. That's not even talking about the monthly cash flow that this type of deal spits off. So let me unpack my 4 lessons, what I learned and how you could potentially create the same structure for yourself. The first thing I wanna say is bigger is cheaper. There is for sure economy of scales with building these mansions this big. That's why I'm not building 3,000 square feet, 4,000 square feet. When you get to 10,000 square feet, man, there is a lot of money you are saving on the construction side. Because consider this, most of that square footage is just bedrooms. Bedrooms are not that expensive. It's just blank floor space, right? I still only have 1 kitchen. The expensive things I am not adding as I am making the bedrooms bigger. I'm just having more square footage. So I'm able to save proportionately, right? Cost per square foot wise, I'm able to save money by having a bigger home. The second thing I want you to have a takeaway from is commercial has more value. Now, what I mean by that is I don't do residential zoning. When I go build new construction, I'm not going and buying a vacant lot in a neighborhood, right? That's residential zoned areas. My building, if it's the same square footage, is gonna be less valuable in a residential zoned area. But if I'm in a commercial zoned area and had the exact same building, the exact same square footage, it will be more valuable. So twofold here, because I am avoiding the drama with the city by not getting blocked, right? I'm going and complying with what they're looking for. Commercial zoning, something like that, where they will allow me to do this deal. But the advantage here is on my appraisal, on my resale, I literally have a price per square foot that is substantially higher than the same size building in a residential zoned part of town. The third point is purpose built is worth more. When you purpose build something, it has a higher value. If you went and converted a house, if you took a house and you had the right zoning and all that kind of stuff, and you converted this house by adding an addition, removing bedroom walls around, it's not going to be purpose built for that. It is not designed for that. You're gonna have a hard time getting through ADA. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, you kind of have a hodgepodge project. It's something that's not designed for the intention. When you come and you build everything exactly right, it's purpose built, it's been designed for this product, for end-of-life care, for dementia, for assisted living care, you're gonna have a product that is more valuable than when you just take a house and convert the garage, right? You're just not gonna get the value out of that product. It is not made for that. That's not its best use. But if you build new construction and memory care mansion, its best use is used for end-of-life care, right? You're gonna get the most value out of that. When you go to sell, it'll be worth the most amount of money instead of converting a house in the neighborhood. Because what if that end buyer doesn't want it for an assisted living? If you're in a neighborhood, what if they want to turn it back into a house? It's not as valuable to them, right? The best way to do this, to have the best exit strategy, is to purpose build for what you want it to be and what your next buyer will use it for. The fourth lesson here is a custom design. When you are going and you're literally trying to solve all of the problems of end-of-life care, the nasty, smelly facility, you really have kind of two options here. Most assisted livings, they either look like a facility, gross, sterile hallways, or they look like a hotel, which is not much better. If you can go and solve these problems, and for me, I walk into a facility and like the first thing you see is the nurse's station. I don't want a nurse's station when I walk in. A mansion doesn't have a nurse's station. Then you turn, you go down the hallways and you have some 70-foot long hallway with bedrooms on both sides. I don't want that. I don't want any long hallways in my mansions. I want to have huge 15-foot glass walls. I want to have the most elaborate great room. I want everything to be custom, down from the bedrooms to the chandeliers to the library to everything that we have in our mansions. So this is the mistake that I see so often. People will say, I'm gonna do a 16 and I'm gonna build new construction and I'm gonna go get a cookie cutter set of blueprints. You can literally Google this and find some kind of architect who will sell you plans for a couple grand. And to me, I call them small boxes. They may be 16 bed, but you know what? They are just another facility. They're just a big box made small. So they're just a small box now, right? They still have the same feel, the parking lot in the front, the red curb. It's just two long hallways down both sides of the building and it's smelly and gross and sterile, right? Like that's not a win here. That's not what I'm talking about. If you can take those plans and say, okay, how can I redesign this? How can I solve all of the problems that are associated with assisted living? Because there's clearly a lot of problems associated with assisted living. They're smelly, gross, and they have a terrible feel. How do I make this boutique mansion, right? How do you come into it and think like, oh, I'm in like this designer boutique hotel? That's really the problem that we solved and rethought the whole thing, redesigned the whole thing. So with that, we now have a way more valuable product than some cookie cutter small box set of plans. So this is the path that I continue to take. I want to go and build these memory care mansions. I want to set myself up for financial freedom, having a huge exit plan, right? I'm not gonna own these forever. I'll own them for 5 or 10 years, but I wanna set myself up when I leave. I'm literally leaving with millions of dollars of equity, right? I've taken care of my family for the last few years while I'm owning this, while I'm operating it. I'm making great money, but the exit strategy is a huge win here. And this is the best way that I see to do this deal. So Laura and I are continuing to grow our business, right? It's Platinum Resort Assisted Living here in Georgetown, Texas. We are expanding, building more of these memory care mansions for ourselves. Our team operates them, but we want to continue to grow our business and use the skill sets that I have developed. And the best way for me to do that is for me to partner with some of you. Some people that have the same heart, drive, will to want to help people and take care of their own family. the people who want to build our exact memory care mansions, use our exact design blueprints, work with us one-on-one, we want to talk with you. We want to work with a couple people each year that literally want to copy and paste our business. So if that's you and you're interested in it, please reach out and we'll have a conversation. Well, that's it for today. I will see you on the next one.